Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner II, Team Leader, Champions Real Estate Team. And then joining me today is Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. So every Wednesday we jump on here and kind of give you a rundown of what's gone on in the real estate market in the Omaha metro area over the last week. Just kind of keep everybody informed as we head into the holiday weekend. And let's jump straight into kind of our graphics that we got here. We go over every week, make it a little bigger so everybody can see it. So we look here, we got about 500, just a little over 500 new listings that went live this last week. So that's comparable to the week previous. So we're kind of seeing that basically that mid-June, end of June kind of push to get the houses on the market before the school season kicks up. A lot of people taking family vacations. So they're like, hey, let's put the house on the market, maybe go on a family vacation, be gone for the weekend, let the showings happen and stuff to that sort. So new contracts are same as what we had last week, 371. Sold homes are up. So that's basically indicative of what the market was doing, about 30 to 60 days ago. So basically right around that Memorial Day weekend, kind of things getting rocking and rolling, people getting into the new houses. So congratulations to them. And we'll kind of go into more in depth on that. So let me jump back out of here, share this. We'll go to the 30,000 foot view of the market. Blow it up so everyone can see a little better. So for the entire multiple listing service, so Omaha and Lincoln, we had just under 2,000 homes, so about 1,950 active listings for your viewing pleasure out there in the marketplace. Breaking it down a little, Omaha metro area, so Douglas, Sarpy County, 1,076. And then the existing homes, so we're getting closer to that 600 level. I remember about a month and a half ago, we were just happy to get to 300. So you're seeing a lot more inventory come on the market, new construction, obviously a lot more homes that they started putting in the ground in January, now it's starting to come online. For you guys to take a look at spec homes and stuff like that. So just under 500 for there. So months of inventory, just about a month supply of inventory. Average sold price basically right around that 311 mark. So it's about 14% greater than last year. So we're still seeing those numbers, the prices going up in that sense of it. So I just met with a person potentially a new listing coming up and just kind of going over the market, what's going on, and just with the number of houses coming on, we're getting into the 4th of July. This is usually kind of that time historically, since I've been in the business since 2008, been around my entire life as a 4th generation realtor. Historically we see that, right after the 4th of July, it kind of slows down just for the simple fact that everyone gets out there, goes on their family vacations, wants to get all that kind of the end of the summer stuff before school kind of kicks in, in that August timeframe. And then you see it start picking up a little bit around Labor Day. However, they get back in their routine. Now we can go look at houses. So it'll be interesting to see, we got a lot of different variables, like what we touched on every week with the interest rates, kind of what they're doing. We'll get a little closer look with Russ here in just a second. But those are some things that, if you're still looking to buy houses, even though interest rates are a little bit higher than what they were a year ago, almost double what they were a year ago, it's still a great time. Because I think with our demand that we have for houses, it's never going to be a better time to buy than waiting and, wait till next year, wait till the rates go down. Well, those prices are still going up. And that's just all the indicators, economic indicators and things of that sort that we're seeing, on a ground level from that perspective of it. So you may get a little bit higher interest rate, but you're going to get the house probably at the lowest price. You're probably going to be able to get it for a little while. Ultimately, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't guarantee that, but that's just historically looking at the numbers, looking at the data, looking at the population growth, looking at the number of homes that are being built, all that kind of fun stuff. Everything kind of plays into the cards of what we're looking at. So if you want a more in-depth kind of analysis on your particular situation, happy to help you. Anyone here at Champions Real Estate Team, you can reach out to us any of our social media platforms. You can give me a holler, 672-7670, and just kind of go over things on what's going on. Like I said, I just had a listing appointment the other day and just kind of laid it out for the client of like, hey, here's what's going on. Here's the situation, pros and cons. My goal is to give you as much information as possible. Yes, I'd absolutely love to put a for sale sign in your yard and earn your business, but maybe that's not the best thing, and there's another avenue that may be better for your situation. So those are the things that we like to do and get you the right information so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. So but yeah, like I said, market is still doing great. We're still seeing not as many offers. Houses are maybe sitting on the market a little bit longer. They're longer than the 2 to 3 days that they had been over the last year or so. So if something's on there for a week doesn't mean it's a bad house. It's just that's just kind of the market and the way that we roll, I guess, in that perspective. perspective of it. So, but if you are looking to buy a house, the first thing you got to do is talk to a great mortgage lender. So Russ Williams is our guy that we go to. Very, a wealth of knowledge to kind of figure out what's the best case scenario for you in that regard. So Russ, I guess, how are things going in the market in the mortgage world? So.
Since last week, we've seen just a little bit of an improvement in mortgage rates, which really wasn't unexpected. We do expect volatility probably through October as far as ups and downs. The way that the Fed calculates, rephrase that, the way the Fed reviews inflationary data, it's quite possible we could see inflation spike again as we hit the mid to late summer months. So I guess I would say, Mark, I've heard a lot of folks now starting to coin the phrase, marry the house, date the rate. And I think that absolutely applies here. And here's why, Mark. Certainly interest rates are higher than what we'd like for them to be. Historically, they're still very good, but they're higher than what they'd like to be. But if we look at history, mortgage rates typically drop during slowdowns or depressions or recessions in the economy. The reason why that's significant is just this morning, as a matter of fact, the first quarter gross domestic product, which is a measurement of growth in the economy, was adjusted even further downward to a negative 1.6, which we went negative in the first quarter for growth. Some of the district Federal Reserve banks have forecast the second quarter is going to be very close to, if not at zero, which you can't get any closer to negative than that. So if we have 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, at the same time, the Fed is starting to, is being more aggressive to raise short-term rates, to try to slow the economy down, it's quite likely this is going to kick us into a hard landing, also called a recession. The reason why that's significant is historically, if we look back all the way to the 1950s, mortgage rates have dropped in recessionary periods. I don't have any data further back than 1950, or else I'd pass that along to you. And I'll hear folks say, hey, Mark, I think I want to wait until rates drop and home prices drop. I just don't see it happening for all the points you just mentioned. In fact, for any of you that would like, I'm happy to send you links to government pages that will show you what inventory levels are now compared to where they were historically for homes that are listed for sale. Right now, nationwide, we have somewhere around 520,000 homes listed for sale, give or take, based upon the Fed's numbers. If we go back 3 years ago, that's roughly the same level we had then. But years prior to that, inventory levels were far higher. So the fact that inventory has risen just a little bit is really partially due to seasonal changes. We typically see inventories rise as we head into the summer months, and then they start to fall off again later in the year. And the fact that interest rates have risen, certainly that affects affordability. But all the demographic and economic data that we have suggest that unless we see the Fed bail on their attempt to try to control inflation, not only will home prices likely continue to be either stable or increasing, but that we probably can expect to see some better rates next year. So marry the house today, buy it at today's price, and we can redo that note for you next year and bring that payment way down.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's like with the inventory, we've had a lot of inventory. We just had such a demand that basically it's eating up that inventory. So I think a lot of agents and the media and things of that sort of coming out and say there's no inventory, no inventory. Well, there's inventory. It's just one in, one out, and it's going on and off the market so quick that if you're not working with an agent that knows a house is coming up, in that regards to find you something before it even hits the market, that's, and what we're seeing now is just more houses, like you said, a seasonal uptick as they're coming on. And then you're going to kind of get some of those people that want to get it on the market or have wanted to get it on for the year. And then they kind of get late to the party a little bit. They get their house on the market in August, September, and that time frame where it slows down just a little bit. And then they're wondering why am I not getting any showings? I'm well, if we got it a little bit on the market earlier, maximize the potential on it. Some buyers right now are still willing to do, lease backs or rent back, where you can sell the house, stay in your house for a month or so, in that regards. And that sometimes it's advantageous to find another house. So there's different avenues. And that's why I say, just give us a holler and we'll kind of go over the different options for you, because you don't know what you don't know. And that's one of those things that I tell my clients is, ask all the questions you can, and if I don't have the answer, I'm going to find out for you. When I was talking about the listing presentation, I called Mitchell & Associates and talked to an appraiser there to get the definite answer of how this is going to affect the value of the house. And Bruce Wilkie over there at Mitchell & Associates was a great resource to help out. So we'll find the answers for you. We'll knock on doors and get on the phone. So
And for those folks that are listening to the news and believing everything the news says as being absolute fact, you got to remember that the news makes money off of primarily gloom and doom. In fact, there's a saying, if it bleeds, it leads. The more blown up the story, the better. If we look at data, all the data is suggesting that this is going to be a very strong housing market, and we won't see it softening. If any of you would like links to the data, please reach out to Mark or to me or to any of Mark's team, and we'd be happy to get you the data. Certainly, we want to make sure we protect you. There's no guarantee, certainly, but all the data is suggesting that we have a very strong housing market. In fact, media didn't really spend a lot of time talking about the fact that just in the last 2 weeks, over 100 of the country's leading academics, economists, et cetera, all were projecting between 5 and 6% annual appreciation or home price increase in the next 5 years. That's over 25 to 30% increase in the price of a home, folks. That's not prices going down.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's, we always used to say with new construction, there's no better time to buy new construction than yesterday. And that's the case because, retail price is always, going up in that regard. So it's the same thing kind of with the existing home. So, but yeah, I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time, but appreciate everyone jumping on and listening to us. If you listen to us later, reach out to us, any of the social media platforms that we're on, YouTube, LinkedIn, like, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. Share us if you like us, all that good stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to just sit down and chat with you, kind of go over anything. I can sit here and talk all day about real estate and all the fun things and in that regards, but everyone's got better things to do. So I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. Make sure you come back with your fingers and toes next Wednesday, and we'll chat with everybody later. And Russ, thanks again for jumping on, and we will see everybody.